Hello, today we're doing something a little different today. Instead of math, it's gonna be about like generally productivity and like more specifically, I'm gonna focus specifically on uh, maintaining like a good environment, a good digital environment, especially. Obviously, a good physical environment is important, like, you know, clean your area and stuff. Um, but I think the digital environment is especially difficult to manage because the tide is sort of against you. Um, and so in this video, I just want to show some things that I've sort of, accrued through high school that have helped me like focus on my work. A lot of my work is digital, so yeah, let's get into it. So a lot of these are going to be like extensions and apps. So like the first one I'd say is this one, Unhook. So basically it kind of like empties your YouTube. So this is what the YouTube home screen looks like after this Unhook extension is active. And what I like to do is go into Unhook, right, and just turn on all of these hide options except for the video info because that's just like too useful to hide and it's also not super distracting. So yeah, and it's really convenient. You can also turn it off whenever you want. But yeah, the home screen is by far the most addictive portion of YouTube, and so is the recommended videos section at the right side of the screen. And so this extension sort of like blocks that and like get as many of these extensions as you need for different like social media sites. So YouTube for me was a big one, but also like anything else, like for example, this is Antigram. It's kind of a similar spirit, except it's for Instagram. So this is what Instagram looks like after using Antigram, and yeah, it's pretty bland, right? And it's also impossible to read the text because it sets the background to white. So just makes it very unattractive to use, which is exactly what I want. Now, you do need to like use this in conjunction with like not having any social media apps like on your computer or phone. So like apps are like more difficult to modify from like a extent, like you can't like do this sort of thing. It's harder to do this sort of thing for like an app on your phone or an app on your computer. So that's why I try to like, if I do use social media, like use it exclusively on the browser so that different like extensions of sorts can be applied to those. Like, yeah. So next thing here is intention, which is another extension, right? This is the logo, and it's not like, I wouldn't say it's as helpful on its own for as the other two that I mentioned, but it's still pretty useful. You just like add whatever you want, right? Like you add Discord here. Uh, so yeah, and now the thing with social media is you want to like limit yourself to like one or two max. I would say like more is kind of redundant. Uh, like you just want one to like be able to talk, I guess, but any more than one, and it's just like you have to like check a bunch of places, and like you may have to use more than one for like other stuff. Like you may end up using Slack if some thing you do ends up using Slack. That's okay, but like you want to keep one thing. You just want to keep like one social media. So for me, that's like Discord. So like I just corral all of my friends and everybody like the fastest way to reach me is either like Discord, right, or email. That's it. Um, and so that way you reduce the amount of like possible distractions that there are. You greatly reduce that sample space. And so now within like Discord, right, there's still the possibility of going out of hand with that. So this isn't a perfect system I created. I made like a sort of like interesting way to deter myself from Discord when I don't need to. And remember, I can only access Discord on the browser because there's no other. I don't have any other apps on my phone or my computer. So if I want to check Discord, I will have like I'll basically like set this very like long password to Discord, right? So something like this. Just this very like I use numbers and symbols because they're harder to type generally speaking. Uh, 20 characters, good length, and then you go on Discord and there's this annoying little dialogue from intention, which is exactly the point. That's why I recommend it. And sometimes when I'm using Discord, I just like close the tab here, right? But anyways, I'll click like unlock, and here like I enter the password. So the trick is like once you make the password, you can't like store it digitally anywhere. You have to like put it on. You have to put it like on a piece of paper, right? So I have like a notebook where it's written. Uh, so after you do that, then what ends up happening is you have to like type it, right? Now this isn't perfect. You can still cheat. I'm not gonna tell you how to cheat, but you can sort of make it a little bit less tedious. But it's still like a useful like it takes activation energy now to use Discord, and that's like the point. And that way you can successfully like limit the amount of times that you check social media to like maybe like once or twice a day instead of like compulsively checking it like 9,000 times. So yeah. Now another one. This is an app, so it's not an extension. Uh, this it works on Windows, but there's probably some sort of equivalent for Mac. Uh, but basically, what all this does is just like if I open the app here. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So you open the app, and basically you have an option to like basically you can do an action which is shut down, and you do it after a certain amount of time. So you can say like 5 minutes, and I usually check the run in background option because this as soon as I click start, it's gonna like hide itself basically. And the reason I use this is mostly at nighttime when I might be like finishing or finishing up with whatever, or maybe I just finished the last thing I need to do for the day, and the tendency is to just like stay online and do something stupid. So to prevent that, like just like set a timer for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then just have that going. And then even if I do end up doing something stupid online, like I don't know, searching up cat videos or something, it won't be too long until the timer kicks in and the computer just shut down. And at that point, it's I'm just too lazy to boot it up again. So yeah, very useful for like ending the day. Okay, so this one is not really about social media. This one's about like just using the internet in general. So it's called Vimium. And name comes from Vim, which is a thing text editor, and the reason it's called that is basically like you can use like shortcuts like keyboard basically to browse the web. So here I have like a Wikipedia article, and I can scroll down. Notice my cursor isn't really moving. That's because I'm using the different arrow keys, and I can also click links. So I click F, and then like let's say I want to click this link over here. So I click A, C, and then clicks that link. So yeah, and then there's a whole bunch. I went back without having clicked the back button, right? So all these different things, you can go on like the Vimium settings to see all of the key bindings that are available. It's a little weird, admittedly, at first glance, but once you get used to it, you just like don't want to like go back, right? Uh, it just makes like regular browsing a whole lot like faster and more comfortable. And browsing is something which you're gonna do a lot. So yeah, that's why it's here. Okay, this one's like a classic video speed controller. So it sort of like puts this little thing at the bottom, at the upper left of every video. So you can like adjust the key bindings, and you will have to if you're using Vimium along with it, because Vimium has its own key bindings and they sort of conflict. So you can change that here, and then you click save. But basically, it'll add this like thing right here to the top of every video. So when a video is playing, right, you can just like use the keys, and then it's very hard to see, but the video will speed up using that, and you can also like hover over it and click the plus and minus sign, and it just makes it very easy to like alter the speed of a video, like much easier than going here. It's much more robust too. You can like increment by 0.1 increments, so like 1.3 and all that. That's very useful. You can just find like the perfect speed, which is like the fastest speed you can comprehend the video, uh, which you simply can't do with this amount of setting. It's just very annoying to do on YouTube. Um, so yeah, that is it for this video. Let me know if there is any other things that I missed, because I'm still learning a lot about this. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.